Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home, and happy Halloween a month early. We're here with Kris and Emerie, of course, from TERRA, and well, you know, we need to get ready early around these parts because everybody has to set up and get their house looking all festive for the season.
For sure.
Hard to believe, but you know what? We have to look ahead, right?
Definitely.
And I always loved what TERRA's brought in. But I mean, this year, this is just exceptional. Right? From top to bottom.
I had a lot of fun buying our Halloween selection for this year. You mentioned getting ready early, and really Halloween is becoming more and more popular in Canada every year. It's big in the States. People go crazy for Halloween, and we're finding more and more Halloween enthusiasts north of the border now.
I love that though, because I was worried for a couple of years that you were starting to see it kind of, you know, fizzle away, and I just love it so much. I embrace the holidays. I know my brother does too, and you know what? It's a part of life. It's memories for your children, and you know, and you can just have fun, dress up with them, and decorate your house, and why not? I find as soon as Thanksgiving's over, I just go crazy.
Yeah, why not? So you're enjoying the fall festivities, and it's easy to work small pieces, small touches into your decor from as early as Thanksgiving. So taking your existing fall look and then adding a little bit of pops of funkiness and whimsy that come from the Halloween season. So you can take it as far as you want. I mean, you can completely creepify your whole home. I know everyone knows someone, right, who has that guy in the neighborhood who has the graveyard and, you know, the whole thing.
Like they go, but some people, because they just love it, right?
Exactly.
Embrace
so
it.
If you want to go the whole 9 yards, you can do that. But it's also what I love about Halloween, and what I love about the products we've brought in for this season, is that it's easy to just take a little bit of it, little details, and pop them into your existing setup, and then you can say, hey, I was festive this year.
Well, that's right, and that's easy. And as you're saying, you know, we're going from, you know, obviously having pumpkins and having some of those cool colors around already, and you can just take even a regular pumpkin, you can keep all that stuff, let it kind of, you know, rot outside the front of your house and throw some spiders on it, and just add a little bit here and there, and you just kind of move it up to the spooky level.
Yeah, outside's easy. You know, you've got your cobwebs, you've got maybe a festive doormat, something like that. It's when you come inside the house things get a little bit tricky.
Yes.
A lot of what's out there on the market for Halloween are sort of things that sit there and don't really do anything.
You're right.
Dust collectors.
Yes.
And, you know, we only need so many dust collectors in the home, right? So I tried to focus this season on things that you can either wear or entertain with. So for those who have Halloween parties, things for the kids, that kind of thing, you can easily incorporate these pieces into your home for entertaining and for everyday use.
Okay, so not just ornamental, but they actually, you know, do something for they're functional in a way.
Things that do things, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got some purely decorative pieces first off. You know, our haunted house.
Love it.
The candles and candle holders. We've got our Mr. Bandaged pumpkin over here who lights up inside.
Oh, he lights up?
Yeah,
oh, cool.
So you can go on a covered porch if you want to put him outside with your pumpkin selection, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there are some fun little whimsical things, but then a lot of the other pieces here are made for function. So thinking of the treat bowl at the front door, or if you've got a Halloween party, or even just on the weekends approaching Halloween, doing Halloween activities with the kids, things to put candy in, chips in, that kind of stuff. Hey, I'd eat cereal out of this ghost. That works for me.
That's pretty cool though. But you know what? That's a really great idea. For, you know, for kids, again, building those memories, kids remember this stuff.
Sure.
They come down that morning and you fill this with Cheerios, and I mean, that's just fun.
It is fun.
Right? It's just fun. Why not? And when it's cost effective, so you only use it once a year, but it's stuff that kids love.
I think cost effective is the name of the game too, right? We've only got this stuff out for a couple of weeks at most, so we want to make sure that we're not blowing the budget on Halloween stuff. So everything on here is pretty budget conscious. This felt runner on here on the table.
Oh yeah, the spider.
The spider. It's under $20. It's a felt cutout, but if you're having a Halloween party, you know, put this under your snack table, something like that, or even on the kitchen table for the kids, that kind of thing.
Well, if you put whatever tablecloth you put underneath that, that would just pop along the top of it. It would look really cool.
Definitely.
And you're right, it's just easy and simple.
We'd be loath not to talk about what we're wearing.
I know.
Of course.
So love these. These are really quite fantastic. I mean, you would not think you would find these in an everyday store. They almost costumey, right?
Exactly. So you can do something as simple as putting a witch's hat, perhaps as a wreath alternative on the front door to switch out your entrance, or, you know, better yet, wear them If you are handing out candy the night of Halloween, I mean, this makes your costume. Wear a
Sure
black
does.
dress and this hat, and you're done. You don't need to worry about anything else. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I remember last year here, Tara. You guys just had like coat racks, and then you had these hanging on the coat
Yeah.
racks. I mean, that's just cool in itself too. That just looks neat, right? And so
Yeah.
easy.
Hats have been a big staple with the Terra customer base for the last few years, so I made sure we got some extra spectacular ones this year.
Yeah, you
And
did a
yeah,
good
they
job.
can be decorative elements or elements that you can wear. There are also smaller versions. I love this guy right here. It's
Look at this guy.
a little
gonna take it
fascinator.
off.
If you're
Check
not
this
into
out.
the whole thing, the giant hat, you can just add that. It's good for, grown up handing out candy, or the little witch in your life.
That's right. It could be good for
pop that on
both.
too. Yeah.
As you were saying, Kate could wear this over in England when
That's
she's going
right.
out for Halloween.
I joked to Leslie, I wonder if Kate would wear this one. I don't know.
Well,
It
it's a
might not be her
fascinator.
style. So.
I love it. So cool. Okay.
So, and then we've got other small elements. This bottle collection up front here is one of my favorite things. This is what I'm talking about when I'm mentioning adding a small element of whimsy.
Yeah.
Add this to your bar, as though it's just blended in. You can put different
So
liquids in it. You
good.
could put alcohol in it if you wanted to.
So
when
you
you're
can.
having a
So these are
party.
functional. You can
They
actually
are.
put stuff in them. Oh, neat.
Yeah, all of them open, and
love
you can
it.
use them for storage or just decorative is fine.
So cool. So so you've got like vampire teeth and what is this one? Viper's venom.
Yeah,
Ooh. So
all the ingredients for your spooky Halloween party,
yes,
for sure.
Very, very cool. I love it.
Entertaining elements are a big part of Halloween, I'm sure. For those who like to celebrate Halloween, it's all about the Halloween party. So whether you're focusing your efforts on the kids or the grown-up party, there are options for both.
Sure.
Even small giftable elements like we've got a cat or a bat wine bottle stopper. So
Neat.
again, little additions for the bar. Like I said, everyone knows that Halloween enthusiasts. So if you're looking for a hostess gift, if you're
Yeah.
attending the Halloween party, you've got some options for that too.
But that's easy, right? And that's just a cute little thing, and it
Yeah.
just adds. Again, that's the thing. I think a lot of times people are, Christmas is easy because over years you're accumulating, and you can decorate your whole house. Why can't you do that with Halloween?
You
just
totally
throw a
can.
little. Why not? Like
Yeah.
I'm starting to really get into that. I mean, as you say, it doesn't have to be even the typical colors. I mean, purples are cool.
Purple's big for Halloween.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that a lot.
definitely.
Again, this is functional as well. Of course, you've got. The little bowl, the little dip spreader, and
Yeah.
I mean, I love these candles. We were joking that these candles here, they basically look like they've been warped out in the heat and all melted and everything, but they're so cool.
Better than doing it yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. So basically, all of this stuff is going to be available pretty much in stores, as we speak.
Yeah, as we speak now, all the way up to Halloween. Of course, the best selection is always available early.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course. So shop early and get your house ready because you're going to want to get yourself ready to go early. I mean, as I say, as soon as Thanksgiving's over, I just fully engage.
Definitely.
And again, inside and outside.
One last element too is paper products for Halloween parties and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Easy entertaining instead of using your everyday dishes, that kind of thing. Easy disposable, inexpensive paper products. Have those as well.
Especially Halloween evening, most people just do pizza or speciale, and out the door they go with the kids. So it just is nice and quick and easy and lots of fun. Kris, it's always so much fun to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Particularly during the holidays. Happy Halloween, nice and early to everyone. We'll be back in a bit.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials presents Terra's Perennial Pick of the Week. The most popular maiden-hair grass, Persilimus, gets 5 to 6 feet tall with coppery pink blooms in late fall. It's super easy and extremely tough. Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're in the kitchen now with Emerie Brine of Bernardin, and again, that name goes back so long ago. So
Over
many
100
people,
years.
hard to believe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people have been canning forever, and that's what we're going to do today. It's that time of year, but really, I mean, you can can for many seasons, right?
Any time of the year.
Any time of the year, there's
Yeah.
always something that you can can. And I think that's maybe the question that we have. Obviously the typical. People know that you do pickles and you do tomato sauce, but the whole world is open for this type of stuff.
Absolutely. You know, many years ago, canning used to be just a seasonal thing, but now I start canning in the middle of February with many groups, and we can do jellies and chutneys and wine jellies, and then you can also use frozen fruit when you want to do some canning as well. So that's ideal.
That's interesting. I was going to ask you that because I've heard that people do, and some people said, "Oh my gosh, I can't imagine using frozen fruit," but you can.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in the midst of summer, when you're too busy to actually do the canning, because everybody has lives, they have children, they have beaches, they want to enjoy the summer. I freeze a lot of my berries, and in the wintertime when I have a little more time, which is not very often, but I do, you can use the frozen berries to do your jams and jellies and all those kind of things.
Oh, that's great, because that's really when you do have a little bit more time, is in the winter. You can settle back when people are at home cooking a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And just open up your kitchen space, because you do require some space, and you know, we're talking, okay, so this is interesting. So you come from a family of 11, and from the East Coast, and so you have a big family. Your mom is still canning like mad.
My mom is still canning. 3 weeks ago, she just jarred 90 jars of these pickled beets.
Love it.
I don't know. I said, "Who are you feeding?" She says, "Well, you know, we got everybody around." So.
But you know what's great is I've always thought, you know, my aunt's a big canner. I think they're just great gifts. It sounds funny, but I just love when people give me candy.
Yeah, because you know what? There's a nice personal added touch when you get this gift. It's something that someone's made, and there's a lot of great detail and care that goes into these kind of things. So at Christmas time, a lot of my friends get little hampers that I've made, and they love it because they get chutneys and jellies and things that you can't really buy, and they know it's been made with a lot of detail.
Absolutely.
So it's actually really
Especially coming from you, you're kind of an expert.
just a little bit.
All right, so what are we making today, then?
Today we're making a fiesta corn salsa.
Perfect.
And the beauty about this recipe, it has 4 ingredients. Now, when my mom canned many years ago, I remember some of the recipes had 12, 14, 18 ingredients, which is very time consuming.
Yes.
But at Bernardin, we've tried to make things a little easier because we know that people want to get in the kitchen, do what they need to do, and get out.
Exactly. So now, going from the beginning process, canning scares a lot of people. I've personally never canned. I've wanted to, but people are worried about the preservation and worried that it's actually going to be safe in there. Right. So, you figured out what you're going to be making for the day. Where do you start?
Okay, well, the first thing where you start is you get your jars, you wash them, make sure they're free of nicks and cracks, and you can use a dishwasher to clean them, but inevitably they need to go into your hot water bath. Okay. Now, this is a typical hot water bath that you've seen for decades and decades and decades, right?
Yeah.
So it's fitted with a rack.
Okay.
Okay. So you take your jars, you put them in there, you bring this up to a boil, so you see it's boiling now, right? So now we're almost ready. Okay. So we get those ready, then we make sure that these are clean, right? These are the sealing discs, can only be used once.
Okay.
Right? Some people use them over and over again.
I've heard.
But I don't like having people tell me that because all that hard work to put a used disc on there and then it'll come undone. Right. So I tell people just use it once, and then this is completely 100% recyclable.
Oh, so that's great. Okay.
Jars can be used over and over again as long as they're not damaged. My mother still has jars that are almost 40 years old.
I'm sure my aunt does too.
Okay, probably, yeah.
I'm sure she does.
This is called a screw band. This can be used over and over again as well, as long as it's not dented or rusted.
Right.
Okay? So your jars are ready. Then your sealing discs go into some hot water that brought up to a boil. And many years ago, we used to tell people to boil these for 10 minutes.
Right.
But what we found was when they were boiling, they were scratching the enamel on the lid and resulting in seal failure a week, a month later. So now what we tell people is just heat them up, bring it up to a boil. Once it achieves boiling point, shut it off and let them sit in water.
So you don't need to overboil at this point. Okay.
And if you don't use them, you can just pat them dry and use them for the next time.
Okay, good to know. That's a good tip.
So we've got our salsa cooking right over here, right? We've got tomatoes, corn, cider vinegar, and our mix, okay?
Nice.
That's going to come up to a boil for a good 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
And the beauty, again, about this product is that it has all the ingredients, and there's nothing scary in there. They're all natural ingredients.
Okay.
There's dried peppers and vegetables and sugar and salt, so it's all good stuff.
All natural, and I think that's the thing with people think of Bernardin, but of the jars and all that. But these are the extra tips that keep you really moving along, and again cutting back time in the kitchen.
And again, if you're not too crazy about using a mix, you can search the website on our website bernardin.ca. We have tons of recipes. We have resources. We have books as well that gives you a variety of recipes.
So you can just go from scratch.
If you want to go from scratch, if you're a purist, like I meet tons and tons of people who would look at that and going, no, I'm not too
gonna
crazy.
happen.
I want to go back to basic ingredients, which is fine, no problem. So jars are ready, lids are ready. So what we're going to do is, and just a side note as well, you can use fresh corn, which I have here. You can use frozen corn. You can use canned corn. You can use canned tomatoes. You can use fresh tomatoes. You can use frozen tomatoes.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Because you
not-
worry sometimes when things are frozen that they have a higher water content, right?
Right.
But that's
Well,
okay.
with tomatoes, it's okay because you're going to cook this.
You're gonna
right?
cook it anyway.
And it depends on what your preference. You might like lighter, watery salsa.
Yeah, yeah.
I like a thick, chunky salsa.
Yes.
So when I do my salsas at home, I cook that until most of the water is evaporated.
Okay,
So it
makes
takes
sense.
a little longer,
Yeah.
but I prefer a thicker, chunkier salsa. So that's what I do.
Okay.
So our jars are ready.
Yep.
So we're going to take this lid off, right? Just set it over here. And I always work on a protected surface. Always. This is wood, good stuff. I take my jar out, right? Now sometimes as well, when you're dealing with well water, you get a residue, like a gray film residue.
Yes.
And that's natural. There's no problem with that. It's not going to hurt the product. All you got to do is add a little vinegar in this water, and
that
that'll
helps clean it
completely
right out.
eliminate it.
Okay.
If you don't want to put vinegar in there, just take a damp cloth after it's processed, wipe it, you're good to go.
Very good.
Okay?
You
So,
can tell you've been asked every question in the world, right?
yeah. Over and over again. If you can hand me that cloth right there, just
Yeah,
the
sure.
cloth so I can bring the pot over,
Yep.
just to make things a little safer. Watch your fingers. Okay. So now the salsa's ready. Let's put this over here. We're going to take our funnel. And again, we have all these tools to make your life.
Well, I was going
a
to
little
say,
easier.
really, and I mean, you can see how people would try to do all this stuff in the kitchen. You know what? You go for it. Just get all the stuff that you need. It's going to make your life a lot easier. If you, I mean, that just brilliant.
You know, and,
Try to
and
fill the jar without that.
yeah, you might end up with a little mess on your
Messy
hands.
situation.
And I teach canning workshops throughout the country all year long. And I tell people, you know what? I do 3 recipes in an hour. Right?
Wow.
And people are sitting there in shock and awe. I'm going, but you know, I'm telling them, don't do this at home. Try
Yeah.
with one recipe,
Yeah,
right? Try one
exactly.
recipe at first,
Yep.
and then work your way on to more challenging recipes.
I think that's good advice. Absolutely.
Because if you're going to try and do 3 recipes in an hour, you're going to get discouraged, you're going to get angry, and they're probably going to call me and say, it didn't work.
And you already have enough of that, right? Can you believe we're already running out of time? Hard to believe.
Okay, so quickly.
Yes.
I'm going to do half-inch headspace.
Yep.
Oops. Right
That's
there.
what I was just going
right
to say.
there.
Okay, half-inch
Give this a
headspace.
little wipe, right? Then we're going to get our sealing disc from the water here.
Yep.
So we're going to put that on.
Love that. Again, all the devices you
Screw
need.
that on, fingertip tight.
Yes.
Then we're going to put this in the boiling water, covered it with at least 1 inch of water.
Yep.
Boil that for 20 minutes. Take it out, put it on your counter again. Good for 1 year.
1 year. Best. And some people say, oh, they're good forever. But we really watch that, right?
Well, within 1 year.
And again, you said nutritional values in there for
after 1 year, yeah, it starts losing nutritional
Awesome
value.
having you on the show. This
Thank
is
you.
good. Okay, again, Bernardin.ca for more information on all these tools that you could possibly need to can in your life. Thanks, Emerie.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for now. We'll be back with more.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Welcome back to Terra at Home. We're back in the kitchen with Chef Rachel. What are we making today?
Okay, we have a very different dish here.
Okay.
Sausage stuffed zucchini.
Okay, so is that considered the main part of a meal you would have it?
Yeah.
Okay, neat.
Yeah. Now it could be a snack if you want it, but you
Sure.
could also have a little bit more and eat it as dinner. So we're gonna do 2 zucchinis here. So yeah, as a dinner portion, I would suggest 1 zucchini per person or 2 halves.
Okay.
And we're just doing the zucchini today, but you can serve it with rice or
Okay,
or
that's what I was wondering. Okay,
along
rice,
the
that
lines.
sounds like a good combination with
Yeah.
rice.
Yeah,
Perfect.
rice.
Okay.
Rice is a good one, or a nice salad, or
Yeah, okay.
anything just to go on the side, but just something a little different and not too time consuming. So good for a fall weeknight dinner for the family. So I'm actually just going to start in this pan by cooking up sausage. So I bought a chorizo sausage, but any kind you like. You know, the grocery store I go to, I can get all different kinds of flavored sausage.
And that's the thing, chorizo is quite intense flavor, right? So it depends on your family. You might just want to get a mild Italian or something, right, for the kids or whatever. But that actually is obviously going to give a real nice intense flavor.
Right, so any kind of sausage you want, you know, even using ground beef or ground chicken, ground turkey, anything like that, it gives the same effect. So, and of course, you can leave out the meat if you don't want to, but for those that do eat meat, it's just a little bit extra.
So now, did you remove the casings yourself, or did you buy it without?
I did. Yes. So I removed the casings. They came. You know, I had 6 sausages or so. This is about 3 of them. Okay. And I just squeezed them out of the casing. Okay. So you just want to get kind of like a chunky.
Yeah, kind of that, just a bit of that chunky, meaty texture. Right?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I'll just break this up a bit, but you want to get this going first because it's going to take a little bit of time to cook.
So are you adding anything in there with the sausage at this time?
Because this particular sausage is so flavorful, it's got you know, a little bit of spice in it and some herbs. So I'm not going to add anything in there, but depending on what kind of meat you get, you can season it with your own herbs if you'd like, salt and pepper, whatever you like. But basically, we're just doing the seasoned sausage.
Okay.
So keep that going. That's going to take a little bit to cook. In this pan over here, I'm going to saute up some veggies. Okay. So the veggies we're eventually going to mix in with the sausage and form our stuffing mixture. But we'll start off with some garlic. So it's just about a clove, minced. Okay, so put that over there for me. Thank you. And onion. I always like to add onion into things when I have garlic going there, so we'll add in some onion as well. Okay, we'll just let that saute up for a couple minutes until the onion gets a little soft and you can really smell the garlic coming out.
So I guess you could kind of sort of pick and choose what vegetables you want to put in there, the flavor, and obviously you create these cute little boats, so you know, you just need enough room for it to all kind of sit in there.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, so you can use whatever you like to stuff. I decided to use some pepper. So this is actually called a sweet Cubanelle pepper. This is a quarter of it.
Okay.
So it's a big long skinny pepper. And not spicy at all, but you can add in some spicy peppers if you like.
Sure. Jalapeno or something.
Scotch bonnets if you're feeling really spicy. So any kind of pepper that you like. I decided to put in some mushrooms as well.
That'd be good.
This is also, you know, a dish that you can kind of make up with things that you have left over in your fridge.
Right.
You know, whatever veggies you have that you want to use up, mix it all together. Okay. So we can add in the peppers and the mushrooms now. Okay. And again, we're basically just cooking these until they're slightly soft. The zucchini boats are going to eventually go in the oven, so they will have more time to cook. Check on the sausage here.
So eventually, cooking them in separate pans obviously is better. You need the room and you need the flavors on their own, and then putting them together, all of it congeals and it makes just for...
Right. I find if you cook the sausage in with the vegetables, which I have done, too much of the fat comes out of the sausage, and just makes everything a little too soggy.
Kind of greasy and soggy.
Yeah, and greasy.
So you could pop that way. It allows you to drain the sausage afterwards if you want to. That's good. A lot of people trying to keep the fat away.
You can strain it off, or just throw it on a paper towel and dip it. And so that's why I like to do it separately.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, these all don't take very long at all. But
yeah, you can see that this would be a pretty straightforward meal, right? Yeah, okay.
The other thing that we'll add into here is the middle of the zucchini.
Oh,
so I'll show you what I did here.
I was wondering about that.
Just cut the top off to make it look a little neater. And we'll cut the zucchini in half. And then just with a spoon, scrape out the middle and get it as deep as you can. For your stuffing.
Well, that's good though, because at least you're using the inside as well, right?
Exactly.
And then it carries the flavors through from the whole thing, so that's nice.
Yeah, because you're actually eating the inside of the zucchini. So this can all go in here as well.
So perfect. So now you know exactly how she made the boat. Easy, scrape it out, and then you're putting these guys on a pan with parchment paper, right?
I'll pass that over to
Take
you.
that. Great. Perfect.
Yep, so just a pan with parchment paper.
Okay.
Oven's preheated to 350.
Okay.
And these will probably take a total of 30 to 40 minutes or so.
Okay. Because basically everything is cooked that you're stuffing.
Right.
It's just you want to get these all nicely warmed and steamed up, right? So
Right. Because these haven't been cooked yet, so
No.
you want to make sure that they get kind of soft.
soft. Okay.
So we still have a little bit of cooking here to do before I can mix everything together, but I'll give you a little idea of what's going to happen. When the sausage is done, we're going to mix it with the vegetables and the zucchini that we put in there.
Okay.
We can season that all up too because the vegetables haven't been seasoned yet.
Okay.
A little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm just going to spoon the mixture onto each of these halves.
Okay. And then having the tomato sauce on hand,
Yeah.
which most people do, some cheese, and
Or
you're good
fresh
to go.
tomatoes if you don't have the tomato sauce.
Okay.
We'll drizzle that over top of the mixture, some fresh cheese, and we'll put it in
And
the
bake
oven.
it. Okay. All right. What we'll do is we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll put it all together and show you the final product.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, and coming up with some more fall recipe ideas for your home, and of course the short amount of time that we have, particularly during the week when everybody's hustling and bustling about with school and activities and work. So we've created these little boats that I just love, and very tasty, and lots of options with them as well.
Yep.
So cute and
these
healthy. Depending on what meat you put in. Obviously sausage sometimes is not, depending on what you're using, right? And as long as it's lean. And
But yeah, a lean, the lean chicken and turkey is a lot better for you than the beef or the pork.
Sure. And as you're saying, you could use even the ground turkey or ground chicken. So you make it lots of options. We were talking also, of course, this is zucchini, but you could also use, I've had something similar to this in like a butternut squash. So, or one of the little buttercups, or, different types of squash you can do it with, and it tastes great, and you can really add some more fall flavorings, like doing the turkey meat and maybe some sage, and getting some of those fall flavors around Thanksgiving, that type of thing.
So many different options.
Yeah.
So yeah, after we cooked all the sausage and our vegetables, then we just spooned it into each zucchini half, a little bit of tomato sauce on top, and then at that point, that's when I put it in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. And then after 25 minutes, everything kind of starts to cook and the zucchini's getting soft. Then I just sprinkled it with the cheese and threw it back in for another 10 minutes or so, just to melt the cheese enough and get a little bit of color on there.
And you said you were going to add some basil, so we happen, of course, at Terra, we have fresh basil that we can always access, so we'll get some of that. How many leaves would you like?
Maybe just 2 or 3.
Okay.
Adding fresh herbs at the end of cooking always just gives that
and it
extra
makes
flavor.
it look pretty, and it tastes good, and it's healthy, and all those things. So while you're doing that, just remind everybody, of course, that you can access all of these recipes that Chef Rachel cooks for us at terragreenhouses.com. And as we move through beautiful fall and some good hearty meals, you can top it off and make it look pretty. That's it for now. We're gonna more Terra at Home next Saturday. Please join us. Have yourself a good weekend.